In Baltimore, 40% of the high schools have 0 students who can do basic mathematics.
Wow! How could that be true? Hup, there it is. It's true! Bruh.
Not even the very simplest of mathematics. I said, give me...
Yo, look at his face. Yo, he's about to cook him, dog. Check out that smile. He's cooking something up.
Your definition of basic, and they're talking about like adding a few numbers together.
Okay.
All right, Wes, cook him, dog. He said 40% of the high schools in Baltimore have 0 students who are proficient in mathematics. Tell us about the high schools in Baltimore.
So while the Trump administration has been trying to shutter the doors of the Department of Education.
Bad start, Wes. What is it? That's the Federal Department of Education, which has nothing to do with Maryland or Baltimore or the high schools or math.
In Maryland, we're ensuring students and educators actually have the resources that they need to succeed.
Oh, the resources they need to succeed. Maryland ranks 13th in the nation in per pupil spending at about $19,000 a student. So you guys are spending plenty of money, Wes. But that has nothing to do with Baltimore, math, or the students not being proficient in those scores. It has nothing to do with what he said.
We've made record investments in public education for 3 straight years, nearly $10 billion this year alone.
Exactly, Wes. You made record investments and 40% of the schools have no one proficient in math, dude. Maybe who's not proficient in math is Wes. He's like, we spent $10 billion on 150,000 students. That's $16 million a student. That's 953% above the national average, which is 100% better than anybody else. Bro is the governor of Maryland. The kids don't know how to do math, and people are in the street in Baltimore like...
Directing over $1 billion to community schools, which are already boosting academic performance in our highest poverty schools.
Okay, so it was 5 minutes ago years old when I figured out what a community school is. So supposed community schools are being placed in high poverty areas and include a lot more than school. From nutrition programs to aftercare to things like dental, medical evaluation, and other social services like food assistance and parenting classes. And look, that's all great and everything, and I'm sure that that's obviously going to increase the probability of people scoring better in school, so I'm not necessarily against that. But it's essentially turning the school into like a community center. And as much as I understand how these communities might need this, and I understand how those things could improve academic performance as they're there and maybe their medical services depend on them being there. But that's not academics. It could essentially improve test scores by just making it so they show up more. Which, yes, that result is good, but isn't necessarily making them smarter